Hi, I'm Ethan Kelly, and I am here to ask you a very important question. Is breakfast really the most important meal of the day? I did some research to find out if it is or if it isn't. We've all been told that it is from a very young age, and it's a good thing that we are told that because, long story short, I have found out that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Not that the other meals are not important, it's just that breakfast, to make it shorter, I guess the reason that it's so important is because it's the beginning of the day. It it really sets you off to how the rest of your day is going to be. To go into details with that, a lot of it has to do with what it does to your body and your brain with all those kinds of, vitamins, nutrients, minerals, all that kind of stuff that you need. First off, probably the most important thing that it does is it restores your glucose levels because when you go to sleep, all this stuff happens where you don't eat for a while. It's basically a quick fast that you have when you sleep, so you kind of need to eat when you wake up. And having a lot of stuff like carbohydrates and stuff, which is what glucose is, the essential carbohydrates needed for brain function. It all needs to be restored. And when you're eating throughout the day, you're kind of just maintaining it, but your glucose level drops when you're sleeping. So when you wake up, you need to restore those levels. And breakfast, a lot of breakfast foods have a lot of glucose in them to restore those glucose levels for you. Because, like I said earlier, the more glucose, the more carbohydrates you have, the better your brain can function. And what I mean by the more your brain can function and the better, I mean that it basically improves how fast it works, how much you can take in more information, stuff like that. It improves your memory, your concentration levels, it improves your attention, your reasoning, your creativity, and the speed of your processing information, all that kind of stuff. Eating breakfast in the morning not only maintains certain things in your brain, it just in general makes you a happier person. You're in a better mood if you've eaten breakfast, and you have lower stress levels. The happier and better mood part is mostly just because you've eaten in the morning, you've kind of woken up, you've activated those glucose levels, raised them, all the stuff to start off your day strong and to keep you on a good pace to go throughout the day. The stress levels part, there is a hormone in your body called cortisol, and it's one of the main stress hormones. And that builds up as you sleep, and it needs to be lowered very fast as soon as you wake up because that's when it is most in your body, cortisol. So you're technically the most stressed in the morning, and as soon as you eat breakfast, it lowers those stress levels. So it's scientifically proven to make you less stressed if you eat in the morning. What you would consider breakfast is any kind of food that you eat within the first 2 hours of you waking up. It's highly recommended to eat actual breakfast foods because those are specifically designed to have all the nutrients and glucose, all that kind of stuff that you need when you wake up. So eating stuff like eggs, toast, all that kind of stuff that's specifically for breakfast is the best kind of stuff to eat. And try to eat it as soon as you wake up, not like immediately, but make that one of the first things that you do. And it really should be within the first 2 hours of you waking up. That's what's considered actual breakfast. They did a study of kids, actually, that were in elementary school, where some of them didn't eat breakfast for a period of 6 months, and then other ones did, and it showed that the kids that did eat breakfast were far more active outside, and they performed at a higher level. So it affects your activity when you're outside doing physical activity, and it affects your brain activity with processing information, gaining information, and just your function makes you do better. Just plain and simple, you're better, more active. I guess you could say you're smarter when you eat breakfast in the morning. One thing that is really important about breakfast that doesn't have to do with levels of stuff in your head is it keeps your weight in balance. basically what it does is it sets your meal pattern throughout the day. So if you don't eat breakfast, then your body isn't used to consuming food in the morning, and then it's weird about eating food later on, and it's less of a pattern. So if you eat in the morning, then your body's used to processing food, and it goes through all the cycles, and then you eat more throughout the day. So basically, if you eat breakfast in the morning, it's not that you eat more throughout the day, it's that you eat better, like you're supposed to eat throughout the day. And it keeps your body on track doing that, making sure you know that you're hungry and that you need food. If you don't eat breakfast, that'll happen less. It also is good for maintaining your weight. It sounds like you shouldn't eat breakfast because you'll gain more weight because you eat more, but that's actually not the case. Because if you do eat in the morning, what it does is it sets your metabolism in motion, and it keeps it going, and it goes on that cycle that I was talking about where throughout the day it wants to eat more. So it just basically makes your metabolism move fast, making your digestive stuff go quicker, and you don't really gain weight from that. It's just good for you to eat more. Not only does it set glucose levels, it affects the levels throughout the day. So basically what I mean by that is in the morning, when it gives you that glucose, it's not just in the morning. There's an actual chart with a study showing that there's certain times in the day where you need glucose, certain times that it increases or decreases. If you eat breakfast in the morning, it affects those times later in the day, not only in the morning. So it gives you more glucose when you need it, rather than eating when you need glucose. So if you eat in the morning, it makes your glucose levels far better throughout the rest of the day, rather than just eating when you need it. Another very good thing about breakfast is that it's good for your heart because of carbohydrates and blood sugar that it maintains. That means that if you don't eat breakfast, you have an increased risk of heart disease because obviously you're not treating your heart as well as you could by eating breakfast every day. It maintains your weight. Oh, I already talked about that. Less fluctuating glucose levels obviously means that you have a decreased chance of type 2 diabetes, because if your glucose levels kind of go all over the place, like I said, when you don't eat breakfast in the morning, your glucose isn't really maintained or balanced unless you eat certain things with the right amount of glucose, and it basically makes your glucose kind of go all over the place, which makes it fluctuate. It makes it not very good for you. Definitely increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. All in all, what I learned is that breakfast is the most important meal of the day for many, many reasons, mostly due to brain function and just getting your day started with what you really need to do. Thanks.